So there's been lots of rumors about the red light, green light challenge. Walk us through the process of that.
So we got on the buses that morning under the cover of darkness because we were all in our tracksuits. There were 4, 5, 6 huge buses. We go maybe 2 hours to an old Royal Air Force hangar. I have never seen a building this big. You could have probably fit 5, 6 football fields inside the building. And I can tell you that building, there's no way to air condition or heat that building. And it was absolutely freezing in there. It was January 23rd in London, freezing. They had little space heaters in there that everyone was crowding around. And more than half of us couldn't even get anywhere near it. So now that was the waiting game. They came in, they gave us our vests, our microphones. They put the squib pack on when that thing that exploded and looked like you were shot. There was a whole wardrobe team there, and they wanted to get everybody fit right. And that took a while. And then we went finally to the room. We're all standing again in our lines, and they opened the door and they had us come in, and it was game on, man. You should have seen this set. It looked exactly like the show. I'm like, holy shit. Look at this place. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I mean, it was incredible. But they made us go in and out multiple times, obviously, to get the right shot. Then the official rule maker or adjudicator came in. Anybody that had a question about what was going on got to ask a question. Some people had the dumbest basic questions ever. And I'm like, yeah, you're allowed to breathe. Like, come on, man. So that took forever. And then they finally said, all right, we're good. They actually had a personal trainer come in and stretch everyone out. So, and then it finally started. And
so what was your strategy? Because to me, the simplest mistake in red light, green light, you're fucked.
What people don't understand, if you, like you just said, you watch it on TV and you're like, okay, 5 minutes. It took 5 minutes. When they explained the rules, they said that when it's red light, you're going to have to hold your position, possibly for multiple minutes. I think that's the word they use, multiple minutes. I'm like, all right, I can stand in any position. I do surgery all day. I'm standing there. Big deal. No, I think, and there are estimates of anywhere between 30 to 42, 43 minutes where you're standing in one position. If you moved at all during that red light time, again, 35, 40 minutes, if you moved at all, you're done. You got popped. You got eliminated. And you think standing still is not hard?
People get bored, and it's just like in an uncomfortable position, like the girl who was squatting.
Now, by the way, they did her dirty. I think she was squatting for about 15 minutes. And the cold was the worst part of the whole thing for me. I mean, I couldn't feel my hands, my feet. I was starting to kind of go out of it. Like I'm dazed. The way they had the floor, I'm sure it was by design. There were a bunch of speckles in the floor that they're moving. It's almost like you had nitrous when you're a little kid getting cavities filled. Everything was just going in and out. It was tough, man. I've been hit in the face with a 92-mile-an-hour fastball, had a motorcycle accident, almost died. After COVID, 40 blood clots in my lungs, almost died. Jeez. This was the hardest thing I've ever done physically.
Wow.
Red light, green light. It took me probably at least 7.5, 8 hours. My strategy was I just kept my hands in my pocket.
And would you power walk?
No, again, for me, this was a marathon, not a sprint. I knew how much time was on that clock because it was in front of us. I counted the beams in the ceiling. So I figured it was about 100 to 110 yards. I knew where I needed to be at the halfway point on the clock. And that's all I was worried about. But I did see something in a video where they said, if there's a wall, lean against the wall. So I made my way kind of to my right. And eventually I would end up running, jumping on the ground and sitting and leaning up against the wall.
Genius.
At one point, I got up from laying down and stepped on the back of the heel of my shoe, and that my shoe was half off, flopping around. And I'm like, this is really going to get me here, walking out of my stupid shoe. It was tough, man. It was really hard.